my dear learners, for this course on design of machine elements 1. In our module 2, we were discussing about design for impact strength and design for fatigue strength. In our previous lecture, I solved a problem on design for fatigue strength, wherein which the material member is subjected for axial fatigue loading. Moving for case 2 of our discussion on design for fatigue strength, that is machine element subjected for bending fatigue loading. The problem number 2 of our discussion on design for fatigue strength states that determine the maximum load for the simply supported beam cyclically loaded as shown in the figure. The ultimate strength is 700 megapascals, the yield point in tension is 520 megapascals, and the entrance limit in reversed bending is 320 megapascals. Use factor of safety as 1.25. The size correction factor is 0.75. Even though he has specified this completely reversed bending case, but he has given two different loading conditions for us. The load varies from 3W to 2W. Very important note student should be noted down here is that whether to take positive and negative sign for these loading conditions. So if you observe, the directions of both 3W and W are in same direction. So if he gives like this, that is one load downward and one load upward, then take one as positive and one as negative. Preferably the load which has larger magnitude can be taken as positive, the load which has lesser magnitude can be taken as negative. But for this case, if you observe, both 3W and W are acting downwards, let us take the downward force as positive sign. So therefore 3W is also positive, W is also positive too. Now if I list the data given for this problem, he has given ultimate strength of 700 megapascals, the yield point in tension is 520 megapascals, and the entrance limit sigma minus 1 is 320 MPa. Take factor of safety as 1.25, that is small n is equal to 1.25. He is also given the size correction factor. Size correction factor is B. B is 0.75. Now, if I solve this problem, it is a circular specimen. So therefore, for circular specimens, we know stress equation for bending sigma is equal to, as I stated, sigma is equal to 32 MB by pi d cube. Now, MB, that is bending moment for simply supported beam, is given by FL by 4. If I solve for cantilever beam, bending moment is load into perpendicular distance. If I solve for simply supported beam, bending moment is FL by 4. Very, very important. If you have forgotten, refer page number 15, table 1.4 of our design data handbook, where table 1.4 is tabulated for various loading conditions for various beams. He has given maximum bending moment and maximum deflection equations. So from page number 15, if you refer, for simply supported beam loaded centrally, the maximum bending moment is FL by 4. Very important. So therefore, I will get MB max if I substitute maximum load, I will get MB minimum if I substitute minimum load. So therefore, MB max is equal to FL by 4, load is 3W, F into L is 200 by 4. So make a note from table 1.4 of page number 15, for SSB loaded centrally, maximum MB is given by FL by 4. If I solve for MB max, I will get MB max as 200 into 3 divided by 4 as 150. So therefore, maximum bending moment is 150 times load. Unit is newtons millimeter. Similarly, if I solve for minimum, MB minimum will be minimum load into length is 200 divided by 4. Sorry, if I refer the design data handbook, it is FL by 4, where length is overall length. So therefore, I should take the length as 400. 400, correct? FL by 4, yes. So it should be 400. So 3 into 100 is 300. So this will be twice. 300 W. So this will become 100 W. So this is equal to 100 W Newton meters. In order to confuse us, he has given L by 2, L by 2 on either side. W, 300 W. So now I know maximum bending moment and minimum bending moment. Now I can find the maximum and minimum bending stresses. Maximum bending stress, that is sigma B max, will be equal to 32 into MB max. MB max is 300 W by pi d cube. So diameter is known. Diameter is 50 cube. So if I solve this, I will get the answer as, you get the value as 0.02445 W. Similarly, I get the value of sigma B minimum as 32 into 100 into W by pi into d cube. To solve, I will get the answer as 0.0081487 times the load. Now I can find the value of amplitude and mean stress. Sigma amplitude is equal to sigma max minus sigma minimum by 2, which will be equal to sigma max is 0.02445 minus 0.00081487 divided by 2, which is nothing but 0.00815 W. I want to determine the W, which is unknown. Similarly, if I find the mean stress, that is average, that is sigma max plus sigma minimum by 2, you get the value as sigma max is 0.02445 plus sigma minimum is 0.00081487 by 2 as 0.0163. So now I should use any one among Soderberg or Goodman criteria for the design. Since metal is not specified, if metal is specified for ductile materials, we should use Soderberg. For brittle materials, we should use Goodman's. Since materials is also not specified, so the choice is left to us. Since he has given both ultimate and yield strength, again it is leading us for the confusion whether to go for Goodman's or Soderberg. During such cases, always give preference for Soderberg, because Soderberg is safer, because it is depending on yield strength. Because for brittle materials we won't specify yield strength, we specify only ultimate. Only for ductile materials we specify both yield stress as well as ultimate stress. So from Soderberg equation from page number 25, referring to equation 2.21. C, we have fatigue stress concentration factor KTF into sigma amplitude divided by ABC factors into sigma endurance plus sigma mean by sigma yield is equal to 1 by factor of safety. Now coming for stress concentration factor, if you observe, he has not specified the stress concentration factor, and also the beam is uniform cross section. There is no notches or any material discontinuity. So therefore, I can take the stress concentration factor as unity and non-sensitivity factor as also unity. No stress concentration and notches. Therefore, you can take KT is equal to 1 and Q also is equal to 1. If I take KT is equal to 1 and Q is equal to 1, then we know formula of fatigue stress concentration factor is given by 1 plus Q of KT minus 1. So 1 minus 1 is 0, 0 into 1 is 0, 0 plus 1 is 1. So this is from equation 2.5. 2.5 of our design data handbook. So therefore, fatigue stress concentration factor is also unity. Apart from that, I want the values of A, B, C. Coming for the value of A is load correction factor. A is equal to 1 for reversed bending. A is equal to 1 for reversed bending from page 25. Coming for surface correction factor, he has given 0.75. Coming for the value of C is 0.85 from table 2.2, referring to page number 32. For sigma ultimate is equal to 700 megapascals. I know all the values. Now if I substitute and solve, I get the value of W as, so KDF is 1, sigma A is 0.00815 times W, which is unknown, whole divided by factor A is 1, factor B is 0.75, factor C is 0.85 into endurance stress is 320 plus sigma mean is 0.0163 times W divided by yield stress, sigma yield is 520, which is equal to 1 by factor of safety is 1.25. If I solve this equation, I will get the value of W as W is equal to 1120.647 newtons. So therefore, maximum load 3W is equal to 33.661 kilonewtons. This is 11.22 kilonewtons. So the maximum load for the given fatigue loading condition is 33.661 kilonewtons. This is a solution for problem number 2. Let me pause this video for a while so that you people can copy it down. Later we will solve one more problem on bending fatigue loading cases. Moving on for our next problem, problem number 3. on reversed bending case. The non-rotating shaft shown in the figure is subjected to a load F varying from 4000 Newton to 12,000 Newton. The shaft material has ultimate strength of 600 megapascal and endurance limit as 300 megapascals. The correction coefficient for surface size and load are 0.8, 0.85 and 0.9 respectively. Find the dimension D for a factor of safety of 3.5 and non-sensitivity index as 0.9. So if you observe this problem for our appearance, it looks like it is a problem on simply supported beam, but actually it is not a problem on simply supported beam. If you clearly observe, it is exactly symmetric at the center. So load is acting here, it is exactly symmetric on either side. So you can take it as fixed on one end and free on other end, or fixed on one end and free at other end. This is because of the reason this will fail at these points, either here or at here. So therefore, modeling it, half of the beam what he has been given for us, I can note it down as, if I take half of the beam and model, the force acting here and here will be F by 2 and F by 2, because the force F is acting exactly at the center, so half of the force should be taken by this support and half of the force should be taken by this support. So modeling for one half of the system, I can model this problem as, so with a load of F by 2. Diameter as 80 given to us, and he is asking to find this diameter. And also we know the radius R is equal to 8, and coming for the distance, we have the distance as 400 and 600. So this can taken as fixed and model it as cantilever beam, fixed at one end, free at the other end. If you clearly observe, here we are acting the load of higher magnitude, here support is less, so due to this the entire frame will break at these 2 points. So like this it will break. So this is the zone where the beam will fail. So this is the zone where the beam will fail. So if I can model this as, due to symmetry, I can model it as cantilever beam with end load of F by 2. So if I observe, the failure zone is this point. Here it will fail. Since it fails here, I should take the length of the arm as 600, not 1000. I should not take load into perpendicular distance as 1000, because the material won't fail here, the material will fail here. So therefore, the distance from failure point is 600 mm. So if I solve this problem, he has given all the required parameters except the stress concentration factor. So if I find the stress concentration factor, I can find the value of D, because stress concentration factor is a function of D by D and R by D, which we already studied in our design for static strength during our analysis in module 1. Now, moving ahead, if I want to calculate the stress for bending cases, we know that sigma is equal to, for circular cross section, 32 MB by pi d cube. So therefore, if I find the maximum and minimum bending moments, MB max will be equal to maximum load will be 12,000 newtons. So therefore it is 12,000 by 2 is the maximum load, F by 2, into length, I should take it as 600. This is because of the reason The distance from the failure point is 600. So for cantilever beam with fixed at one end, free at another end, loaded at the free end, the bending moment is given by Fl. So where F is F by 2 into L is 600. So if I solve, I will get the answer as 12,000 into 600 by 2. So we will get the bending moment, maximum bending moment as 36 into 10 to the power of 5 Newton millimeters. So similarly, if I solve, I will get the minimum bending moment as, since it is a cantilever beam, formula for bending moment is Fl from page number 15, referring to table 1.4 of our design data handbook. Minimum load is 4000, actual load is F by 2 into distance from failure point is 600. So therefore I will get the answer as 4000 into 600 divided by 2, which is equal to 12 into 10 to the power of 5 Newton millimeters. So now if I calculate the maximum and minimum bending stress, sigma max is equal to 32 into 36 into 10 to the power of 5 by pi into diameter is known 8. So I will get the value as 32 into 36 into 10 to the power of 5 divided by pi into 83, which is nothing but 71.62 megapascals. If I solve for minimum stress, I will get the minimum stress as 32 into minimum bending moment is 12 into 10 to the power of 5 divided by pi into dq. 32 into 12 into 10 to the power of 5 divided by pi into dq. We will get the value of minimum stress as 23.873 megapascals. So now I can find the value of mean stress. So mean stress will be sigma mean is sigma max plus sigma minimum by 2, which is equal to 47.75 megapascals. So if I find the amplitude stress, which is sigma max minus sigma minimum by 2, we get the value as, which is equal to 23.875 megapascals. Now he has given us the ultimate stress. Since he has given the ultimate stress for this shaft, I should use Goodman's criteria. So therefore, from Goodman's criteria, if yield stress is known, we could have gone for Soderberg. When both are given, yield and ultimate, always go for Soderberg criteria. Here the yield stress is not given, he has given only ultimate and endurance. So therefore I am going for Goodman criteria. From Goodman criteria, we know that fatigue stress concentration factor into sigma amplitude divided by factor CABC into sigma endurance plus sigma mean by sigma ultimate is equal to 1 by n from equation 2.21a, page number 25 of our design data handbook. So now I know all the values except stress concentration factor. Find the value of stress concentration factor. So if I substitute and solve, I will get the value of stress concentration factor as sigma amplitude is 23.875 divided by load correction factor. Actually the load correction factor for reverse bending case is 1, but he has given the load correction factor as 0.9. Since he has given, we should take it. We should take the load correction factor as 0.9. B stands for surface correction factor. So surface correction factor is 0.8. So B stands for size correction factor. Size correction factor is 0.85, and C stands for surface correction factor, which is given as 0.8, into endurance stress is 300 megapascals, plus mean stress is calculated as 47.75 divided by yield stress is given, we are designing based on good one, so therefore ultimate stress is given as 600, which is equal to 1 by factor of safety is 3.5. So if I solve this equation, I will get the fatigue stress concentration factor as the value of fatigue stress concentration factor is 1.585. We got the value of fatigue stress concentration factor. Now make use of fatigue stress concentration factor to find the axial stress concentration factor. We know that from equation 2.5, KTF is equal to 1 plus notch sensitivity factor into KT minus 1. So therefore, we have calculated the value of fatigue stress concentration factor as 1.585 is equal to 1 plus notch sensitivity factor is given as 0.9. Stress concentration factor is what I should calculate. So therefore, I will get the stress concentration factor as 1.65. I know the stress concentration factor, now I can determine the value of diameter. So now, referring for design data handbook, page number 43, figure 2.25, stress concentration factor for stepped shafting, bending. We know the value of KT. Now I want the value of R by D and D by D. So R by D will be 8 by 80, which is equal to 0.1. So therefore, for R by D is equal to 0.1 and KT is equal to 1.65. 1.65. If I refer the diagram, I will get the value of D by D as D by D is equal to between 1.2 and 1.5 line from the figure. So since I am intersecting the point between 1.2 and 1.5 from the figure, let me take the average value 1.2 plus 1.5 by 2. I can adopt the value as 1.35. So if I adopt D by D as 1.35, the required diameter D for the problem will be 1.35 into 80, which is equal to 108 millimeters. So this is the complete solution for the given problem. So this completes our discussion on bending fatigue loading. So from next lecture we will be addressing torsional fatigue loading cases. That's all from this lecture. Thank you all.